Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to another episode of Life with Brian. I am with my 2017 Jaguar F-Type SVR, and I just thought I'd do a quick episode of the 5 things I aggressively tolerate about my car. So let's get started. So the first thing, guys, I aggressively tolerate about my Jaguar F-Type SVR is, of course, the exhaust note, the engine note. It's amazing. It's obnoxious, it's stupid obnoxious and completely unnecessary, but it's the best thing about this car, hands down. Let me see if you, just kind of get rev it real quick so you guys get it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That is just incomparable. And yeah, what can you really say beyond that? It's just stupid, obnoxious. You don't need to have that, but that is the first and the second, probably the third and fourth and fifth thing that I aggressively tolerate about this car. But it makes it such a blast driving down the road. There's a method where I call it the full throttle method, because I learned it from watching a YouTube video from those guys. If you get the car above 3,000 RPM, basically between 3,000 and 3,500 RPM, and you tap the accelerator, but without tapping it too hard that the car moves forward, you'll get constant snap, crackles, and pops. People will be diving under benches thinking it's gunfire. It's awesome, it's stupid, it's obnoxious, but I love that about this car. And in subsequent years, they toned that down. They made the car quieter, God knows why. A travesty, a miscarriage of justice. But this car, thank God, is still loud and obnoxious, and I love that about this car. The second thing, guys, that I aggressively tolerate about my Jaguar SVR Type F SVR is this little quirky thing where the vent opens up or rises up when you start the car. So you start the car, give it a few seconds, and if your car is not broken, the vents will rise up accordingly. So I think that's kind of cool. Definitely quirky, definitely Doug DeMuro quirky, but hey, most cars don't do that. And again, as long as your car's not broken, and it should do that. And I think it's a nice little touch, a cool little touch to the car. The third thing that I really aggressively tolerate about the car, guys, is the interior. I think the interior is really nice on this car. Again, this is a 2017, so you're not going to have, you know, the latest, greatest, whatever. But I think everything's really nice. It feels luxurious. It feels expensive. You have the carbon fiber here, the leather, the stitching, everything feels really nice. The shifter feels great, more carbon fiber. You don't have, like, you know, cheap plastics or stuff that just feels, you know, cheap or you know, something that's below the price point of the car. The seats in particular feel awesome. This leather is just it's amazing. It feels so good. The seats, nice little stitching on the emblem there, but the seats are just really supportive but comfortable at the same time. A lot of times you kind of have to compromise. Either you get, you know, the Recaro racing bucket seats that have the bolstering and give you a lot of support, but they kill your back. Like my 12C seats I hate, because it takes me like a minute and my back's already killing me. But these are super supportive, have the bolstering, but very comfortable, super comfortable. Yeah, I really like the interior of this car. The layout, again, it's Alcantara, whatever it is. The stitching's just super nice. Everything you touch feels, you know, expensive, feels nice. It's leather, more leather here. It's just, yeah, I think the interior is definitely a strong point of this car. And the third thing I aggressively tolerate. The fourth thing I aggressively tolerate, guys, is this little, what is it, sunroof is what they call these things. Moonroof is when it slides, or I think sunroof. Anyways, the fact that you may think, okay, what's the big deal? Like, a lot of cars have that, right? Well, with this car, because it's a little bit on the not small side, but I mean, again, it's a sports car, maybe a supercar, depending on who you ask. It can feel a little claustrophobic, more than actually some of the other cars that I have. Maybe it's just because the way it's laid out. You know, it feels a bit more claustrophobic, especially when it's maybe kind of like a darker day or a gloomier day. So the fact that you have the option here to open the sunroof, and again, it just slides, you don't have to worry about pressing a button or something like that, instantly lets light into the car, makes it feel instantly more roomy, more airy. It completely changes the vibe of the car, or the feeling of the car, especially, like I said, when it's dark outside, you don't get a lot of light in, and you're like, hey, I'm like feeling a little bit claustrophobic. The fact that they do have this sunroof here that you can open and close to let air in automatically, I think that's a really nice touch. It's a very great design cue, or whoever thought of doing that for this particular car, because again, I have cars, I have whatever supercars that don't have this option, and it definitely does feel kind of more enclosed and more claustrophobic. So definitely a nice touch on Jaguar's part. The fifth thing that I aggressively tolerate, guys, and this may maybe kind of sound kind of stupid, but I cannot stand climate control buttons or systems or whatever that are counterintuitive, or you literally have to stare at the thing for like 30 seconds to figure out, okay, what do I press to get this, or how do I circulate the air, or what if I want it to go to my head? It's just, I love the layout, I love big buttons, I love big knobs, I'm a visual person, but like, hey, you turn it, then you turn that side, you want the thing off, turn it off, you want auto, push it on. It's very simple, it's to the point. And there's not a lot of fuss. You don't have to go into a menu, which I can't stand in cars now. You have to go through a menu to, make your, whatever, like get the air colder or hotter, or you got different little switches. Like, my R8, for example, right? A lot of people praise the controllers on that because it's so easy to use and so intuitive, but I actually kind of disagree. I'll make a video of that later. But there are other cars I can think of as well, like my Gallardo. I'm like, okay, I just want the air to go up, but I gotta press like 2 buttons and then press a increase or a decrease button. This is very simple, very easy to use. I like simple things, guys. Your climate control should never be difficult to use, guys. Car manufacturers, the best way you can get brownie points, the best way you can get people to like your cars is have your climate control very easy to use. Make it intuitive, because it's something people touch and use every single day. Make it easy to use, make it easy to understand. I like it that it's easy to understand and use in the Jaguar F-Type SVR. So that's just a quick video, guys, on the 5 things that I aggressively tolerate about my Jaguar F-Type SVR. Let me know your thoughts. Do you have one? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Is there something that you guys would have on your list? Again, just a quick list. I will do an in-depth video at a later time, but I hope you guys like the video, like the content. If you guys have any thoughts or suggestions for different content, please let me know. Give it a thumbs up, leave some comments, like and subscribe, support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.